Welcome to the Sabrina Marie Show. I'm super excited you tuned in today. We have a great panel from the cosmetology field. And guess what? They got a lot to say. Well, first up, we have Chuck Caple. Chuck Caple is 35 years veteran in the beauty industry as a licensed cosmetology instructor and an educator. He's a salon owner of Upscales of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia. He's also an author of Coloring Chemical Relaxed Hair, The Science of Healthy Hair, Universal Hair Coloring and Formation, and Form and Design, an Artistic Approach to Hair Cutting. I'm super excited that he is on the panel, and trust me, he has a lot to say. Next up is Regina Newby. She's the owner of La Vida Nueva Salon. She has 26 years experience. She's the creator of Back to Basic Forum, winner of the 2004 Best Hair Salon in Richmond, Virginia, 2018, recipient of the RVA Icon Award. Yes, Miss Regina is in the house, and she has so much experience, and she has a lot to say as well. And last but not least, we have Rikki Ward. He's the owner of Redefined Barbershop, Lisa's House of Reality, and he's also Virginia's wholesale distributor. He also has 20 plus years in the business as an owner operator, and 12 years as a school owner master educator, and 6 years as a wholesale distributor. So we have great panel today and their expertise, and they're going to let you know how they feel about this pandemic and going back into the industry. Let's go. The Sabrina Marie Show.
Well, I think the leadership has been impeccable. I've been watching people like Miss Newby, yourself, the number of other people, Mr. Capo, who's been keeping us informed, kind of keeping us moving forward in the industry, giving us ideas how to survive this pandemic. So I think the leadership has been phenomenal.
We only became essential because government officials realized that they needed our services. That's the only time they wanted to consider us essential. I'm not really, that name, like non-essential, just sounds kind of bad anyway, because only essential personnel needs to come. It's almost like, well, you're the people that really, not just in the hair world, but you're the people that, really keep this company afloat, that you're really needed. You other people, you aren't really important. That's the way it sounds when you say non-essential.
Right.
But yeah, I think a lot of the states is basically because, if you've been following social media, a lot of them have called in, barbers and hairstylists and gotten a haircut, and they have a mask and gloves on, and they want to justify that, well, they need to look a certain way because they're in this position. So we had to call someone in to service them. And it's like, but you told us we were non-essential. So for me, you just got to work it out like we tell our clients, break out, brush it back behind the ear, use a little bit more product than usual.
Really funny.
But you need to be in the same boat that we're telling everybody else to be in.
Right. It just feels really crazy to be non-essential to essential worker, and it just kind of seems a little like a setup because my life is important. I mean, I wasn't important enough to be an essential worker, and I don't even know. I didn't even know. I know personally as an independent contractor and have my own business and all that. I still got unemployment. I still haven't got unemployment since
me neither, not a dime.
March 23rd. So I'm not important enough to get paid that way either. Like, it's been crazy. it's been a lesson though. I think that moving forward, this has been a great lesson for a lot of us cosmetologists and business owners, instructors, and things like that. Because um, if we're in that category, there's things that we need to do to make sure that we're prepared in our business, not just our home, because we usually hear that we prepare for home 3 to 6 months of emergency funds, but we don't really talk about business owners putting money to the side and that whole big bailout that we were supposed to get help from. You have major companies taking $1.7 million, for their bailout. But what about what about their reserves? These are chains and franchises of businesses. They're supposed to be for this money's supposed to be for us, small businesses, and I'm still waiting to hear from that too. But like, what happened with them, with them taking a lot of the income and be able to give back to small businesses, so we could really take off the time and prepare our business for the next phase when we come back, and the employees, if we have employees, whether we are in the instructor field, we can get classes and stuff together. Yes, we're doing things online, but after a while, you're going to want to meet with your students and have a graduation, or be able to see where they're at, and they're able to move forward and everything like that. So it's just been kind of weird to see how the industry has been moving forward, and a lot of things that definitely need to be put in place and to be taught of how to make sure that we're prepared for something like this, just not only our personal homes, but for business and how to move forward. Do you feel like some of the business won't be able to open back up after this?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, there are salons that have, already announced on social media, not here in Richmond, but I've definitely seen barbershops in Florida and salons that they've already announced that they are permanently closing their doors. So,
That seems so heartbreaking.
yeah.
Someone's dream, and they put so much effort and time into it, and something just come like this and could just wipe somebody out so quickly. It just seems so heartbreaking that it's like this. Do you feel like we're the industry, not just this industry, but the non-essential workers are pawns right now of the first phase of letting us go back out to see how this thing is going to affect us, and if there's a big spike, or the herd immunity thing that I keep hearing about, where they just want everybody to go back out, and there's going to be a certain amount of people who is infected. Like, do you feel like we're just like pawns right now to just go back out there? You want to answer that question? Nobody want to answer that question?
Well, I don't think
go
we're
ahead, go ahead, Rikki.
I'm sorry. I don't feel like that they single us out. I mean, I agree with Mr. Chuck and Regina when it come down to being led by your own conviction. It's up to you to go back to work and jeopardize your safety. That's pretty much up to the individual. So it just, like you said, everybody's case is a little different. Some people need to go back to work. They probably have to be a little bit more conscious of safety, sanitation, decontamination, and all that. But want to be careful not to go back in too fast if you're not ready. Even if it's a money situation, we all got.
Well, I personally feel that I feel like, yes, you do have a choice. I feel like you do have a choice to go back. Some people feel like they don't have a choice because of their financial situation. Everybody doesn't have security, money set aside, and some people live check to check. So they feel like they are in a position where they have to go back. And a lot of people that are in that position are minority people, and people who are in a certain income bracket. So I feel like, yeah, we are the testing ground for right now to go back out there. And I do think that we do need to be smart and unified, and be careful, look out for one another when we go back out there, and to be unified in it as well. I don't know much about our government of this state because I'm originally from New York. So I'm learning, and I watch him a little. And I know that our first day was, well, we were supposed to go back June 10th, and then you said that it changed. It may be May 8th, something like that. They changed it a little bit around. I think that that he had been doing a great job, and he was under pressure and stuff like that. But, I'm a little nervous going back so fast too. I want to go back to work. I miss work, but at the same time, I'm not ready to go back right now. And it just seems like it's going to be a lot that comes with it. It just seems like it's a lot that comes with it.
I think that even though everybody's got their own set of reasons why they need to go back or want to go back, but from a political standpoint, I think a lot of these politicians, a lot of these governors, especially the guy in Georgia, I think they have an agenda. They want to, they talk about, they mentioned the words "go back to the salon" and social distancing in the same sentence. Those two things don't go together. And so if you're going to send back some workers to work, why not send back some of the restaurants or send back some of the shopping stores or something like that? But people who have to touch, like tattoo artists, masseuses, barbers, hairdressers, we really should be one of the last people to go back. But I just feel like, to some degree, they kind of like throwing us under the bus, because it depends on what locality you're in. Because like Georgia, he's sending all these people back to work, but he didn't say anything about sending tanning salons back to work. You know what I mean? We can go back to work, but you're not sending the tanning salons back. And so, like Regina said, if they do move it here to May 8th, I won't be back in that May 8th. I'm just not. And again, I'm not going back until I feel comfortable and safe. And this thing is to the point where you almost don't want to answer your phone because you don't know who's calling. You don't know what you're going to hear on the other end. Is somebody that got sick, somebody that died, and so you're praying for your family all the time. I got kids, that live down in Charlotte, and they're still working. And and my son has a couple of kids that he got to look out for. My wife is still working; she can't get off work. And I hate that. And so I'm looking at the bigger picture, like Regina said earlier. I got a choice. I can go back now, and because I'm anxious, and because I got a few bills pressing on me, I can go back now and risk it. Or I can stay at home and save my life and pay them people later. Because the way I look at it,
Right.
they talk about your credit. I don't mean this to sound harsh or nothing like that, but hell, black folks ain't got no credit no way. We ain't got no credit. When have we ever had credit? So I mean, I told her.
Credit. We got credit.
I told her
You
how.
can always rebuild.
2 or 3 weeks ago, I told her how I got 3 separate hospital bills, and I told all of them when they first closed the salon down, I don't have no money to pay you. I'm not gonna pay you until I can get ready to pay you, and that's just plain and simple. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna stress it. I'm not gonna let people stress me out about money. My main concern, as long as I keep my mortgage paid, keep my phone on, I'm good. My electricity's going. I'm not worried about other stuff. So I'm gonna go back when it's comfort for me, because I'm one that can tell you from experience, stress can kill you, and I'm not going back to work stressed.
Right. Yeah. And they reclassified us to go back so that we can go back to work. They were classified as close contact workers. So that's what we've been reclassified as, close contact workers. Like social distancing, but you're non-essential to a close contact worker, and we need to go back to work. That's crazy to me. I just feel we're not valued.
To be honest with you, hairdressers, barbers, with a couple other people, if you really want to be really, really serious about it and honest about it, we should be the last people to go back to work. The last ones. I hate to say it that way, but we touching, and people say, well, you put on your mask, put on your gloves, That's all good. But you gotta understand something. You got nurses and doctors in the hospital got masks and nursing. They still dying too.
Yeah.
They're in the hospital, got masks on, and some of them getting the virus, and some of them die with masks and gloves on. So you just can't say go back to the salon and put your mask and your gloves on, you'll be all right. This thing has got to be gone first.
The point where I'm trying to say, why are we being thrown out there like that?
This thing's got to be gone first. I mean, it's not a matter. It's not a situation of can we go back and suit up, face mask and all that kind of stuff. The virus needs to be gone. It needs to be gone completely, and then we can feel safe about going back to work. As long as the numbers still going up, fluctuating back and forth, it's not safe.
It's not safe. I don't think that they're gonna have it clear this year. So you think people can stay out of work the rest of this year? I mean, it's only, is it April?
Yep.
I don't know. It's a hard call,
Sure. Yeah, I work with Naked Body Stations and Stations Products, Caliber Clipper Corporation, Elabor Hair Color. I have a number of different things going on, but honestly, Sabrina, I haven't missed a beat. Retail is that important. I've been selling retail since the day we shut down, and I've been doing pretty good. But let me say this, because this is something I kind of really wanted to deal with. It is critical that we understand that this is an unforeseen occurrence, and this is not our fault, all right? But what we do or don't do at this point is our fault. So this is our time this downtime is our time to learn how to retail, or like Regina said, or find other venues that we can get into to create financial stability for ourselves and our families. So, and you, Sabrina, are the go-to person. I mean, I rely on you for financial advice all the time. And Regina was actually talking about a mentor. So I would advise people to get in contact with you so you can help them with their finances. But this time is not time to watch TV and sit around on the couch and all these other things. We can take advantage of this time and learn some other things, other than, like she said, just being behind the chair.
I have an online school, online courses. But the thing of it is, when with what's going on right now, with the child is struggling, it's going to be hard for them to take part in the online courses that I have. But what I did, I knocked the prices down during this time, just for that purpose. Some of the courses on there cost $100, $150. I knocked them almost all of them down to $25, just because people are struggling right now, and I don't want to try to, take advantage or gain off of people's hardships by trying to sell them $100 classes, $150 classes while they're out of work. So, but I have the online courses. Online courses is not as simple and easy as people think it is. Not in terms of building them, but to actually sell them. You would think that people be all in terms of just sitting at home and just going online and purchase a class and sit there and get it. But people just not, they're just not built like that. I think that nobody probably was sitting in their house on Christmas and New Year's Eve and sitting in church on New Year's Eve, bringing in the New Year, thinking that we would ever be right here. Right. And so, it just, and like I said, talking about having other streams of income, it's just a lot of stuff going on. I was talking just the other day on social media about people want to get back into the salons. I want to get back into the classroom. It's going to be just as hard to get back in their classroom as to get back in the salon, because when people go back to work, they're going to be going back into work trying to make them dollars in the salon. It's going to be even harder to sell classes and sell education now. So it's equally hard for me for what I do, But I mean, I got some things I'm doing, and I've got a lot of things I've always done. You know, I have all the books. I have my books. You know, I have the retreat. That's been pushed back to September. I don't even know what the fate of that's going to be, you know, with the way things are going right now. I've got some other things that I'm doing unrelated to hair that I'm not, you know, in a position to mention as of yet. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do, you know. I've always said that education was the hardest thing in the world to sell. It's going to be even harder now, you know, because people are just not, I mean, when you think about it, the kids in school, they don't want to go to school. They don't want to go to class. College, when you're in college, they're there because they got a goal, but in reality, they don't want to be in class, you know? So when it comes down to going to class now, people want the education. They want to know how to cut, how to color, how to braid, how to weave, how to do whatever, but they don't want to go to class. People don't want education. That's just, you know, that's the hardest thing in the world to sell is education. People don't want it. You know, so and now this crisis we're going through right now don't have it in.
Crazy. I had got a text message from one of my distributors that Bonner Brother was making hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I got that thing today too.
Yeah.
But you know, I told somebody the other day, I say this several times since we've been out of work. I said, I don't think nobody is gonna forget 2020.
That's right.
2020 didn't even start yet. I had so much plans for this year.
I mean, like I said, you know, when I was visiting family for Christmas, and when I was sitting in church New Year's Eve, bringing New Year's, I mean, you could have never told me that in March this is where we were going to be. I was like, you crazy. I don't think nobody saw this coming. You know, and it's not like anybody single out. It's affected everybody. It's affected every kind of industry. You know what I mean? Any kind of industry you can think of has been affected. You know, and so, but the problem is right now is that it's really sad because there's nothing that any of us can do about it. It's really sad the type of individuals that we got in Congress and in the Senate that's supposed to be taking care of us. We got them cats in there, man, don't care about nothing but themselves and their own money. And, you know, and that thing we got in the White House, I'm gonna tell you, man, we got to hurry and get him out.
Governor under the table.
Oh yes, he threw him all the way under the bus and rolled over him several times.
Like, oh my God! Did he really just throw that man under the table like that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, but like I said, the guy in Georgia, you know, we already know what he all about. You know what I mean? First of all, he one of Trump's guys, and then he redneck. And like I said, you know, he gonna send the salons back, but he ain't mentioned this tanning. So if you're gonna send the salons back, why not send the salon? Why not open this tanning salons back up? Who goes to the tanning salon? You don't want them in there. So you know, that's this kind of thing, and that's why I say I just feel like, and see, black folks are the most. When this first happened, everybody was saying, you know what? I haven't heard any black folks got it, but now all of a sudden all the black folks got it. But see, the reason why we got it is because we just doing dumb stuff, you know, because we still hanging for all in the country. We got people hanging out, they having yard parties, house parties, stuff out in the yard, on top of each other. They playing basketball, sweating on top of each other, spitting on each other. They don't care, you know. So like I said, when we gonna wake up? But see, my problem is I'm afraid that they're gonna open this government up too soon, open the cities back up, and if they open the cities up too back fast, and the stuff goes back up again, they're gonna be forced to shut us down again, and that's gonna devastate people.
Yeah.
That's gonna devastate people.
There's gonna be a setback, and they're predicting the setback. They're predicting another setback in the wintertime, actually, this year of the wintertime. Yeah. It's gonna be twice as worse. So my point is, why are we going back now? Should we do something like China did and lock?
But you know what? We've always been the country that's always been the best at everything and always been on top of everything. But now in this crisis, we finished the worst. We prepared for the worst. And we already know why we prepared for the worst, because of that leadership we got. Yep. But I'm just saying, so it's like United States always bounce back from anything. They always fix it. But now we done got so deep into this thing now. And the bad part about it, now that we've in it so deep and we can see what's going on, then we still ain't fixing, because we still don't have no leadership. And so, like I said, I hate to rush time away, but November can't get here fast enough.
Yep.
It can't get here fast enough.
Listen, I don't know, but it can't get here fast enough. But I don't know. I feel like that man gonna be back in office because he has a lot of support.
But you know, he got a lot of enemies there too. So,
clientele that support him, and I never want to talk about politics while I'm doing it here because I don't want to feel away.
I do too. I have a client that I refuse to talk politics in Islam because I know if I do, and she got to talking about it one day and went in the other room with the other girl and her clients in there, and I heard them in there talking all loud. They was getting all out of hand. So I had to go in and drag out. I said, y'all can't do that here no more. Y'all can't bring that conversation up when she's in here, you know. And so I can do her hair and we can have a good time in Islam. We have joy, laugh and talk, have a great time because she's good people. But you just can't talk about politics with her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I found that out too. Like some conversation I just choose not to engage in because I get so emotional about it and I might burn your ear.
But you know, we just gotta stay prayed up though, you know, because you know, Trump has got, you know, he's got too much stuff up his sleeve, and so we just gotta stay prayed up so that we can just get him out of there because it just. You know, I told people, I said, you think it was bad the first 4 years? I said, give him another 4 years. You ain't seen, you ain't give him another 4 years. You ain't seen nothing.
I'm so afraid of that. I you know.
Yeah.
I think that you know, just this whole thing is preparing us for the worst. Like it's about money, power, control. More than this disease, you know. I feel like there's so much more that's going on behind the scenes, and we're gonna be put in a position that is not okay. Like it's really scary. It's really scary.
But all we've done, we haven't done anything yet else. We have definitely seen now what people are all about and who people really are.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, racism ain't never went nowhere. It was just suppressed, you know. And you know, all them KKKs and white supremacists, they just wearing 3-piece suits now, you know. But now, because that clown in the White House have given an okay, everybody coming out the closet now, you know. So everybody letting you know where they stand, and you know, so they just set things back a long way. It's gonna take a lot to push it back in there, you know. We just got to get the right person in there, but he definitely ain't the one because, you know, some politicians can play that dumb role and you know it's an act because that's just their agenda. But when you dumb 7 days a week, you just dumb, you know, because you can't fake that, you know, because Trump ain't never had a day where he was logical. I mean, so he just proved, you know, that he's just, you know, he's genuinely dumb. You know, he ain't faking that.
So Chuck, this is the thing. We know this. Why is he so favorable amongst people in the hood? Because I'm finding that out. Like I thought that us as a minority people that we genuinely felt the same about this man. Honestly, I honestly thought that. But me doing a little bit of investigating, talking to certain different type of people,
see, unfortunately,
demographics, I was blown away that they like this dude because of his characteristics. And this is my argument with them because I do go back and forth.
He act like them,
right?
Unfortunately, people in the hood are not really educated. You know, why do you think that, you know, they still shooting and killing each other over Gibson Court and Fairfax Court, and Wickham Court, you know, over Combination Street, Red Street, James Street, you know what I mean? Why do you think they're still doing that stuff with it? Because they haven't been exposed, and that's what the mentality want to keep them at. They want to keep them in there. That's why they don't give them money for housing. You know, they had the opportunity to put money into the budget to get better housing. They shot it down. They shot it down. They don't want to do that. They want to keep them there. So they don't have any education. That's why they stay in the street. The women out there, they fight each other. You know, they fist fighting, and then they shoot and killing each other. And so all they know is something like Donald Trump. They don't know the real stuff. So, I mean, you know,
it's really strongly behind him, and that makes me afraid, Chuck. Let me tell you why it makes me afraid. It makes me afraid because these people really feel like And there's a lot of minority people that's in the hood, and I must speak because I hear the conversation, and it upsets me because it's very scary that our own people may put him back into office because they feel like former President Obama didn't do anything for them. When I say them, not us as a minority people as a whole, but a certain demographics, financial demographics. They feel like he didn't do anything for them.
Sabrina.
Then you hear Donald Trump come and say, here's $1,200 stimulus. That's a big deal for them. I didn't get that because I'm not in that category. But go ahead.
Trump never took anything from the people in the hood because they had nothing to take. And so they don't see him as an opposition. You know what I mean? The people who trying to do something, like the people like us and people who trying to make somebody's life, we see the threat. But the people in the hood, they don't see a threat because they already don't have, you know? And it's sad, but I mean, you know, when you don't have anything for people to take, I can't be mad at you for taking something I ain't got. You know what I mean? So that's how they look at it, you know, but, you know, but then you got some people who just following because they just racist, you know, plain and simple, you know. Right. But you know, we just gotta, like I said, you just gotta stay praying. And if you ain't never believed in God and felt like praying, now's the time.
Definitely.
Yep.
Now's the time.
Well, how do you talk to those type of people? Like, I literally find myself going back to the archives of Obama, of what he's done for people, for African American people, people of minority, and I go on the White House now of what President Trump is doing for African American people. And so when I look at both of them and I compare them, I'm gonna be very honest. For the first time, I said, let me look at this out of my eyes, out of a middle class person who's ambitious and wants something. Let me look at it out of the eyes of people who's just living check to check and just trying to pay their rent. Let me look at through their eyes. Let me see what they're talking about, because I don't know what you're saying to me, because I know what this president has done for me. You know, so when you tell me that this president has done nothing for you, that's weird to me. So when I went to go back and look at the website and to see what former President Obama had done, I kind of saw it a little bit like, okay, he has put hope in for people like us, where we can go to college and the HBCU colleges, and he put funding into those type of things and create jobs and careers for people. You know, he has done that. He did the child care credit, the $1,000 child care credit. He has put that in the taxes, and so as I, you know, those are just a few of the things that I was reading. So I was reading that and everything, and I'm like, okay, this is great for someone who's a working class person. Yeah, we do need child care credit, because I need that too, but I pay for after school program for my son and different things like that. And in schools and people who want to go to college and stuff. But then I was looking and I was like, okay, this is what they're talking about, because they're not ambitious and want to do those type of things, or see some. I know someone who hasn't filed taxes in 8 years, and it's not like they're going to be paying taxes, but they're afraid to file taxes, you know, like little things like that. So I'm like, okay, these are the people who are saying that the president hasn't done it. They feel like he hasn't done anything, from where you have President Trump who comes in and want to give a stimulus package of $1,000, even if you haven't filed taxes, you know, all you have to do is fill out this e-form or whatever, you know, things like that. So they're looking at that like, see, he's looking out for the hood. He's looking out for people like us. And I'm like,
he didn't do it. Trump didn't do that. Trump didn't do that.
But
he just happened to be the guy.
He done it.
The president at the time. That's all he did. He ain't did nothing.
Right.
He don't have enough intelligence to do anything.
But in their eyes, you know, they really feel like,
because
he's a gangster, he could do what he want to do, and he looked out for the hood. He gave us $1,200. $1,200 don't pay nothing for me, like in real life. Yeah. You know, but to them that's a lot of money. And then it's just so like, how do you reach that audience? And how do you get $1,200 people to vote properly this year? I mean, because it's important. Like I'm afraid that these people are not going to vote properly, they really feel like this man is really have their best interest at heart, and he really doesn't have their best interest at heart. Here's something. Let me throw something to you right now, real quick, so I can throw it back in your face in November. Didn't I look out for you? Didn't I give you $1,200? I believe that that's going to be thrown back into the face of people, and he's going to use that to get the minority votes of a certain demographics, a certain economic status. I believe that he's going to.
Because his friends got millions. So, like you say, when you talk about people in the hood or whatever, $1,200, yeah, they're ready to go out and spend. Mm-hmm. But you look at Ruth Chris Steakhouse for one. Now they had a profit of over $450 million profit. And they got stimulus money, and then all the small businesses, they tell us, oh, we ran out of money. Now he's trying to backtrack and say, well, I'm trying to get them to give some of the money back to small businesses. Why the hell are they getting money in the first place?
Why did they get that in the first place?
If you made $400 and something million, you're not a small business.
Yeah.
Right. So they didn't even look out. I feel like you didn't even look out for us. This wasn't even about us, you know?
No, it wasn't. It was never about us.
So it's just so frustrating. And that's what is so difficult to get a certain demographic of people to understand, that it's not about us. Your $1,200 ain't even about you. It's about your vote. It's like a payoff to me. And $1,200 one time gonna do what? We still in
That's why he wanted his name on the check.
Yeah. You never heard of that.
I said, but people just want their $1,200. They wouldn't care if Pee Wee Herman name was on that check as long as they got it.
Listen, if you gonna give me a $1,200 check, I'm gonna take it. I can't even get it. I was like, wait.
I haven't even gotten mine, and I verified online, direct deposit, have always gotten it, and I still haven't gotten it.
Now, well, if they're gonna give it to me, I don't believe I'm gonna get it, because when I was reading the guidelines of the tax bracket and all this for married couples and all that, I was like, well, I don't think I fit in this. So it's
you can go on and check. If you go on Get My Payment, the actual IRS site, that'll tell you if you're gonna get it.
I did my regular taxes.
Yeah, go on actually Get My Payment. That's the official IRS, where you can you got to put in your social, your birthday, street address, zip code, and it will tell you you are eligible. And for mine, it was just like, we don't have enough information. So I had to re-verify my bank information, but it still didn't give me a date, and it only updates once every 24 hours. So I did it last Thursday. So I still haven't gotten it yet, direct deposit.
And then they don't give you the stimulus check, they don't give you the unemployment, and then they want to send you back to work so you can kill yourself.
Yeah. Or if you don't go to work, how you gonna eat? Because we ain't gonna give you nothing, because of the fact that once you're allowed to go back to work, we're gonna take away unemployment from you.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. It's like
that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to wait. They're trying to hold out and make that check hold out so they open cities back up, the stores, business back up, so they can send you back to work, so they don't have no reason to give you no unemployment. That's right. What it's all about.
And take your $1,200 and go put it back into the economy and go spend your money. And they know minority people are going to go spend their money on a lot of frivolous stuff.
That's why they want to open the business back up, so that people can get them $1,200 checks and put it right back into the economy. That's why he's so mad. That's why they're so mad and Russian trying to open back up, because they want to get the money. It's like a loan. They gave it to you and give it back. So give it back to them. That's what they want you to do with it.
Yep.
Insane. I'm just praying that we get through this season and we don't come out in a destitute place.
But I'm gonna tell you something though. And you might as well, like they say, like the comedian said, wait for it. All you got to do, I'm telling you what's gonna happen in Georgia. If they send them people back in the salon tomorrow, I give them 2 weeks, people gonna start dying again out there. And they don't have no choice but to shut it back down again. That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you right now, because Stacey Abrams was on TV just yesterday saying that they got an incline. I mean, they're constantly going up. They're not declining yet. They say Albany, Georgia got the worst case rate in the country or something for that size of a city. So, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time.
I should have been recording this conversation.
And I just feel sorry for the people who live in Georgia, because I just feel like someone's going in blinded. They're just going to run back to work, and then they're going to think through thoroughly. And they're gonna go back to work. They're gonna jeopardize themselves, and people gonna start getting sick again. And it's like a domino effect. All it takes is one person to get sick, and pass it on to one person. They pass it 2 or 3 more, and them 2 or 3 more pass it 4, 5, 6 more, and just keep on going on. It's just, and this thing, you got a pandemic inside of, epidemic inside of a pandemic.
I know a barber in Georgia that he was just generally speaking on, he just felt it was too soon to go back to work, that he wasn't going to go back. Had his page hacked. The person sent him a message and say, if you want your page back, then this is what you need to do. And I mean, this is like one of big time barberless pro barber, very well known. And actually that person hacked his page, deleted everything, and he had to start over again, and sent him a message, was like, yeah, I saw your post about, you're not going back to work, and if you want your page back. Like, they were holding his page hostage, mad because he was just speaking of, it's too soon for me. I ain't trying to tell nobody what to do, but after I thought about it, I prayed about it. He was like, it just doesn't sit right. Like, I can't put my kids, my wife in danger. And somebody got mad and hacked the page, and he has
you got a lot of smart criminals out there. I mean, if some of those people use their intelligence to do something productive, you go get an IT job. You smart enough to hack somebody's page and wipe it out. You got enough intelligence to go to an IT job and make some good money. But they rather sit around and do. People can find everything you do. People can find a way to hack into it. They just that smart. So why you don't go to the job? I don't get it.
Let me go top again. Yeah, this is good conversation.
I don't get it.
Okay, you heard me?
I don't get it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I just don't get it. It's sad. And that's why I try to program myself. I get up. I don't know if Regina said it or you said, Rikki, that now is not the time for us to sit around and watch TV and stuff. I get up in the morning, and I got a treadmill in the house. I can work out for a while. Then I go get to my desk, and I stay at my desk until 5:30, 5:45 when my wife get home, working every day. I don't cut the TV on. And lately, when the 6 o'clock news come on, I refuse to look at it because I don't want to hear no more about how many more people died. Tell me about how many people surviving, because if you're not careful, it can mess up your mental health. You know what I mean? And at 11 o'clock at night, I used to watch CNN every night. I used to watch Chris Como and Don Lemon every night. I can't watch it no more because I'm tired of hearing about this stuff. You know what I mean? I can't continue to feed my soul with that kind of stuff every single day. So I gotta be productive and do something. I just can't sit around and watch TV all day, man. I just can't do it. I watch TV at night after I eat dinner, but I try to watch something, man, that's gonna make me happy. I ain't trying to look at nothing that's gonna stress me out.
Right.
I ain't want to see Chicago PD, somebody killing nobody. I don't want to see somebody killing nobody. I want to see something make me laugh.
Chuck, are you a Scorpio? You sound like a Scorpio.
Nah, I'm Virgo.
that fits in the category too.
Yeah, I just can't do it. I mean, because I know I'm the type of person where, I think the older I got, the more I realized that I don't want nothing that's going to feed into my system that's going to drain me. You know what I mean? So if I see something on TV that I feel like it's pulling me down, I'm going to flick the channel, because because I don't need nothing that's going to add stress to me. I just can't do it, man. And so I pick and choose now when I look at the news, and I just try to look at a little bit of it and just keep it going, because I just, how much, every night when the world news come on, when that sound come on, boom, there it is. They get me to tear you up. They get me to tear you up now. You know what I mean? All that stuff. I just can't keep on doing that stuff every day and every night. I can't do it.
What I try to do now is I try to get my update in the morning, and then I try to get my last update towards around 5 or 6 o'clock. I cannot listen to it all day long. I don't want to talk about it all day long. I know what's going on. I know it's highly contagious. I know it's dangerous. I know we have to be careful. I know we have to social distance. I know we're not going to be touching everything. I know that if I go to the grocery store, I got to wear my mask. I got to have my hand sanitizer on. Yes, people are dying at an alarming rate. My mother and my aunt still lives in New York, in the heart of everything. So I'm concerned on a regular basis. I'm always calling my mom, checking on her, making sure, please don't go out. Please stay in the house. My mother is, she's at a certain age too, and so I'm always concerned. My aunt, she has underlying health issues. She's had 5 strokes and 2 heart attacks. I'm concerned about her. She lives in a nursing home as well. So those things are always on my mind, and to think that anything could happen, and if God forbid something happened, that you couldn't be there with the person, or being alone. They have to be alone through this process, and then even at the end, God forbid, like, you can't even say your final goodbyes the right way, when you lay them to rest. This thing is crazy. This thing is out of control.
Thank you for tuning in to the Sabrina Marie Show. And remember, never let them see you sweat.